transcendental loving service with the Lord in his eternal abode, beyond the manifested mundane creation. But the Nitya Badhyas or eternally conditioned souls are entrusted to by his external energy Maya, for rectification of their rebellious attitude toward the Supreme Father. This is very, very important. The Nitya Badh are entrusted to his external energy Maya for rectification of their rebellious attitude towards the Supreme Father. Nitya Badhas are eternally forgetful of their relation with the Lord as parts and parcels. Bewildered by the illusionary energy, they think they are the products of matter. And thus they are very busy in making plans in the material world for becoming happy. This is what everyone is attempting. हम होंगे कामयाब एक दिन. Then they will say, मन में है विश्वास, पूरा है विश्वास. Or whatever they think, or whatever they plan, or whatever they hope, what will be the result? Krishna says, Mog Asha, Mog Karmana, Mog Jnana Vichetasa, Rakshasi Masurim Cheva, Prakriti Mohini Mashrita. Because they are under the influence of the illusionary energy, all of it will be baffled. They will only remain bewildered and finally frustrated. They go on merrily with such plans. But by the will of the Lord, both the plan makers and the plans are annihilated at the end of a certain period. As above mentioned, this is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita as follows. O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all living entities merge into my nature. And when again the time of creation is ripe, I begin creation by the agency of my external energy. Sarva Bhutani Kaunteya Prakriti Yanti Mamikam Kalpaksha Punasthani Kalpado Visrajami. The word Bhuya indicates again and again, that is to say, the process of creation, maintenance, and annihilation is going on perpetually by the external energy of the Lord. He is the cause of everything, but the living beings who are constitutionally the parts and parcel of the Lord and are forgetful of the sweet relation are given a chance again and again to get rid of the clutches of the external energy. And to revive his consciousness, the Lord also creates the revealed scriptures. Vedic literatures are the guiding direction of the conditioned soul, so that they can get free from the repetition of creation and annihilation of the material world and the material world. This is what the verse was that I spoke in the morning. Devavati mother is requesting Kapil Dev to explain that how the conditioned soul, who is trapped in the cycle of repeated birth and death, creation and annihilation, how can he be released? How can detachment come in his heart? The Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita, this created world and material energy are under my control. Under the influence of Prakriti, automatically they are created again and again. And this is done by me through the agency of my external energy. Actually, the spiritual spark living entities have no material names or forms. But in order to fulfill their desire to lord it over the material energy of material forms and names, they are given a chance for such false enjoyment. And at the same time, they are given a chance to understand the real position through the revealed scriptures. Both opportunities are there. Chance for false enjoyment to fulfill their unlawful desires, and also a chance for understanding one's real constitutional position through the revealed scriptures. The foolish and forgetful living being is always busy with the false forms and false names. Modern nationalism is the culmination of such false names and false forms. Men are mad after false names and forms. The form of body obtained under certain conditions is taken up as factual, and the name also taken bewilders the conditioned soul into misusing the energy in the name of so many isms. The scriptures, however, supply the clue for understanding the real position, but men are reluctant to take lessons from the scriptures created by the Lord for different places and times. For example, the Bhagavad Gita is the guiding principle for every human being. But by the spell of material energy, people do not take care to carry out the programs of life in terms of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the postgraduate study of knowledge for one who has thoroughly understood the principles of Bhagavad Gita. Unfortunately, people have no taste for them, and therefore they are under the clutches of Maya for repetition of birth and death. So the mass of men, why they are put into such difficult situation? Because first they do not have any desire to get out, to be released or to be relieved. They have no aspiration, they have no desire. And second, that they are so foolish that they do not accept the authority of the scriptures, and they are always debating. So they are not able to get any release from the clutches of Maya, from the repetition of birth and death. Savayam yat padam atra suryo Jitrendriya nirjita materishvana pashyanti bhaktya ulklita malatmana nanevesha sattvam parimarsutam arhati. Here is the same Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose transcendental form is experienced by the great devotees who are completely cleansed of material consciousness. By dint of rigid devotional service and full control of life and the senses. And that is the only way to purify one's existence. As it is stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord can be known in his real nature by dint of pure devotional service only. What is the verse? Very famous verse. That the Lord real nature can be known only by pure devotional service. बोलो, मैंने पूछा नहीं, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि मैं पूछूंगा नहीं. अभी हम इतनी बार भगवत गीता पढ़ चुके हैं, बार बार भगवत गीता पढ़ रहे हैं, सुन रहे हैं, क्लियर होना चाहिए. We should be able to immediately quote. This question is not for Dayashil Prabhu. Everyone else can attend. He has been studying Bhagavad Gita for more than how many years? 13 years. Manoram, for you also it is more than 10 years now. Huh? You cannot memorize one small book of 400 pages. The only 700 verses are there. Bolo, which verse is this? If you don't know this verse,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
I told you not to speak.
Oh, sorry, Prabhuji.
It is not for you. प्रियंका, आप बताइए, इन सब तो मैं क्या बोलूंगा, बोल बोल के थक गया. इनका कोई चेंज नहीं होता. बोलो.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I don't know whole verse, but it is Bhaktyam Abhijanati.
Yes. Krishna says many times in Bhagavad Gita, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschashmi tattva. Tato mam tato gyatva vishitaya tadantaram. And another place Krishna says, Bhaktya tu ananya shakya aham evam vidu arjuna yatim drishtum cha tatvena pravishtum cha parantapa. So his real nature by dint of pure devotional service only. So it is stated here that only the great devotees of the Lord who are able to clear the mind of all material dust by rigid devotional service can experience the Lord as he is. Please see the principle. Only the great devotees of the Lord who are able to clear the mind of all material dust by rigid devotional service can experience the Lord as he is. Jitendriya means one who has full control over the senses. The senses are active parts of the body and their activities cannot be stopped. The artificial means of the yogic processes to make these senses inactive has proved to be an abject failure. Even in the case of great yogis like Vishwamitra Muni controlled the senses by yogic trance. But when he happened to meet Menka, a heavenly society woman, he became a victim of sex and the artificial way of controlling the senses failed. But in the case of a pure devotee, the senses are not at all artificially stopped from doing anything, but they are given different good engagements. When the senses are engaged in more attractive activities, there is no chance of them being attracted by any inferior activity. Very important. When the senses are engaged in more attractive activities, what is that more attractive activity? The spiritual activities. There is no chance of their being attracted by any inferior engagements. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the senses can be controlled only by better engagement. What is the verse? That the senses can be controlled only by better engagement. बोलो देवशीर, ये आपके लिए भी है. What verse is this? विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिना रसोवर्जं रसोऽपि यस्य परं दृष्ट्वा निवर्तते. This principle we try and we must apply. Devotional service necessitates purifying the senses by engaging them in the activities of devotional service. Devotional service is not inaction. Anything done in the service of the Lord becomes at once purified of its material nature. The material conception is due to ignorance only. There is nothing beyond Vasudeva. The Vasudeva conception gradually develops in the heart of the learned after a prolonged acceleration of the receptive organs. But the process ends in the knowledge of accepting Vasudeva as all in all. In the case of devotional service, this very same method is accepted from very beginning. And by the grace of the Lord, all factual knowledge becomes revealed in the heart of a devotee due to dictation by the Lord from within. Therefore, controlling the senses by devotional service is the only and easiest means. Tavayam Sakya Anugita Satkatho Vedeshu Bhuyeshu Cha Bhuya Vadibhi Yo Eka Is Jagat Atma Leela Sajati Sajati Avidya Adina Bhakti Sajjate. Oh dear friend, here is that very personality of Godhead, whose attractive and confidential pastimes are described in the confidential part of the Vedic literatures. By his great devotees, it is he only who creates, maintains, and annihilates the world, material world, and that remains unaffected. Maya tatham idam jagat, jagat avyakt bhutana. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, all the Vedic literatures are glorifying the greatness of the Lord Shri Krishna. Here is a confirmed in Bhagavatam also. The Vedas are expanded by many branches and sub-branches by great devotees and empowered incarnations of the Lord, like Vyasa, Narad, Sukdev Goswami, the Kumaras, Kapil, Prahlad, Janaka, Bali, and Yamaraj. But in the Srimad Bhagavatam especially, the confidential part of his activities are described by the confidential devotee Sukdev Goswami. In the Vedanta Sutra or Upanishad, there is only the hint of the confidential part of his pastimes. In such Vedic literature as the Upanishad, the Lord has expressively been distinguished from the mundane conception of his existence. His identity being fully spiritual, his form, name, qualities, and paraphernalia, etc., have been elaborately distinguished from the matter, and therefore he is sometimes misunderstood by the less intelligent people. Persons as impersonals. But factually, he is the Supreme Person Bhagwan, and he is partially represented as Paramatma or impersonal Brahman. I'm feeling very tired. Cannot continue further. Okay, so I'll stop here. Short class. But I could say that you please hear the class of the morning class. Very important principle is given for those who are actually aspiring to achieve perfection. Hare Krishna. Srila Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any question or discussion from your side so far on departure of Lord Krishna to Dwarka? None? No questions? Okay. Tomorrow we will have Bhagavad Gita class. Pradeep? We completed till 28th verse, so 18.29 onwards.
Yes.